Welcome to Yin's Law School. I'm Brandon, your attorney, and today we're going to talk about uninsured motorist coverage and underinsured motorist coverage. We're going to talk about what it is, when it's applicable, and when it can benefit you. There are so many things that determine what your personal injury case is worth, but the thing that really sets the maximum value for your case are the insurance policy limits. Let's explain this through an example. Let's say you got into an accident and it was horrible. It was catastrophic. You lost a leg. It was clearly the other person's fault. They hit you from behind, your car is twisted metal, and you ended up losing a leg, okay? In Pennsylvania, if you're driving a car, you have to have car insurance. And car insurance companies must sell, at minimum, a $15,000 policy to you. So that's the state minimum. The person that hit you and caused you to lose your leg might only have $15,000 in coverage. So what do you do in that situation? Clearly, your lost leg is worth $15,000. Of course it's worth $15,000. It's a freaking leg. So now what do? Do we sue the person personally? How do you do that? Well, let's answer that question first. If you want to sue somebody personally and they don't have any insurance that covers them, or if they have a minimal amount of insurance that covers them, the only way to go after them personally is to reject all the offers, try the case to verdict, have the jury make an award, and then take that award that's in excess of the verdict. Let's say they had a state minimum policy of $15,000 and you get a $500,000 verdict. Then you have $485,000 that the defendant is personally responsible for. How do you think that's going to go? Are we actually going to get that money out of him? Or is the defendant going to declare bankruptcy? Is the defendant going to hide their assets? Is the defendant going to pay you $2 a month for the rest of their life? Is that really how we want to go about this? 99% of the time, this is like pulling water out of a stone. It is not worth it to go after a defendant personally. So what do? We got one leg now. We have a $15,000 settlement that we had to pay part of that to an attorney. So where does that leave us? You then turn to your own insurance company. If you have underinsured motorist coverage, that adds extra money that could be available to you if the defendant had insufficient insurance. So in this example where you lost a leg and you have a $15,000 settlement, you can turn to your insurance company. And depending on your own limits, could be state minimum 15, it could be 25, 50, 100, 250, 300, and say, hey, the defendant only had 15, I got one leg, you better give me the policy. So let's say your underinsured motorist coverage is $100,000, okay? You had a $15,000 settlement from the defendant, and now you're looking at a possible $100,000 in addition to that. In a circumstance where you lost your leg, you're getting all of it. Unless there's some sort of liability dispute or other crazy fact out there, you're getting all of it. You lost a leg. Pretty sure that's worth $115,000, okay? Now it gets more nuanced if the injury is less. How much can I get of that? You know, what's my attorney going to be able to get for me in a situation where I hurt my back and I needed chiropractic care? You know, if I get $15,000 from the defendant there, how much of my $100,000 UIM policy am I going to get? It might not be that 100. In many circumstances, a chiropractic-only case isn't going to get you $100,000 for UIM after you get 15. And obviously, there's a ton of injuries in between those two circumstances, right? So a good attorney is going to find a way to maximize that UIM recovery for you. So what's uninsured motorist coverage? It's actually the same exact thing as underinsured motorist coverage, but it applies to the situation where the defendant doesn't have a low amount of insurance. It's when they have no insurance. So what you want to do is make sure you have good uninsured motorist coverage, because there's a lot of people out there right now driving without insurance. Insurance is expensive. People still have to get from A to B, and if it means getting a paycheck or not getting a paycheck, they're driving to work, whether they can afford insurance or not. And a lot of times, you might get in an accident with somebody, they don't have insurance, okay? So it's very important that you purchase that uninsured and underinsured motorist coverage for your policy. Thanks for watching my video. I have more of these coming, so like and subscribe if you'd like to see more.